Hello everybody, I am the Nerdy Guy, and I have a question for you. How many radical feminists does it take to screw in a light bulb? Gonna give you a second to guess. I can't hear what you're guessing, but fuck it. 12. Why 12? Well, 1 to screw it in, 1 to excoriate men for creating the need for illumination, 1 to blame men for inventing such a faulty means of illumination, 1 to suggest the whole screwing to be a bit too rape-like, 1 to deconstruct the light bulb itself as being phallic, 1 to blame men for not changing the light bulb, 1 to blame men for trying to change the light bulb instead of letting a woman do it, 1 to blame men for creating a society that discourages women from changing light bulbs, 1 to blame men for creating a society where women change too many light bulbs, 1 to advocate that light bulb changers should have wage parity with electricians, 1 to alert the media that women are now out light bulbing men, and 1 to sit there taking pictures for her blog for photo evidence that men are unnecessary. I found this joke at Just Offensive Jokes, the blog I mentioned in a previous video, and I just love it. I might make more videos where I take up different things in this joke, but for now I'm just gonna focus on some of the points. Mainly, 1 to excoriate men for creating the need for illumination, 1 to blame men for inventing such a faulty means of illumination, 1 to blame men for not changing the light bulb, 1 to blame men for trying to change the light bulb instead of letting a woman do it, 1 to blame men for creating a society that discourages women from changing light bulbs, 1 to blame men for creating a society where women change too many light bulbs. The reason I'm going to talk about this is, if feminists want to be taken seriously as an ideology, then feminists need to focus their attention. And I'm not talking about focusing, which is also a very valid point, that they need to focus it on important issues, for example, wage equality and salary that we don't have right now, instead of focusing on what gender the toys are being advertised to, because nobody gives a flying fuck about it. It's not important at all. But no, they're focusing on what gender the toys are marketed to, because that has equality or whatever. But I'm talking about they need to focus their attention, because feminists are going in every direction at the same time. What I'm talking about specifically is, like they're saying, 1 to blame men for trying to change the light bulb, 1 to blame men for not changing the light bulb. They can never decide. There was a joke about this in a comic in a Swedish magazine a long time ago. I barely remember, but something in the line of a woman, like, the whole joke of the entire comic was that she was a radical feminist, and yeah, feminism. And a friend was like, yeah, well, I was sick last week, and so I couldn't be out there. You know, and the feminist goes like, oh, so like, guess what? I guess your boyfriend just ran away from you. Let's just sit there sick. Typical men behavior. And she goes, nah, actually, it was pretty sweet. I mean, he took care of me the entire weekend. We cuddled up, we watched movies and everything. And she goes, oh, so you're the weak woman that needs a man to take care of you. Yeah, typical men. He has to be the big, strong man. Typical men behavior. That's the exact same joke. They can never decide what direction to go in, so they try to go in every direction at the same time. They blame men for doing too little, and they blame men for doing too much. Like, a while back, I read a feminist complain about how men are not taking enough daddy leave. I don't know if every country has that, but basically like mom leave, where if you're a mother with maternity leave, you can take days off to take care of your kids. In Sweden, at least, and probably most countries, I don't know, we have the same thing for fathers, so we have paternity leave or whatever. And I read a feminist complain about, yeah, men are not taking enough paternity leave. Men need to take more paternity leave. This is the feminism, equality, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, 2 days later, I read an article on the internet where a woman bitched about how men should not take paternity leaves, and men should not be allowed to take paternity leaves, because men should not be left alone with kids. It could be hurtful for the kid if done so, because men are not able to take care of kids. This is the feminist way, blah, 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 blah. Focus your attention. Nobody's gonna take you seriously if you keep going in every direction at once. That is the simple explanation for this. And also, I want to point out, it's bullshit what she claimed. Men are not unable to take care of kids just because we're men. And women are not automatically the best to take care of kids. For example, there's a YouTuber, I'm not gonna mention him by name because I'm not sure if he wants me to, but he has a kid, and he has had some problem with the kid's mother because she's not willing to cooperate and help raising the kids. No, she is too selfish for that. I have a lot of respect for this YouTuber, simply because of his patience. And if you're watching this, you probably know who you are. But... and there's more of these things. For example, there's a video on the internet where the... I don't know what the fuck they're called anymore. MRI? No, that's a CAT scan. Well, something. The male version of feminists. I can't remember what the fuck they're called. I'm gonna look it up. MRA. The name I was looking for was MRA. I should probably have known that, but fuck it. Well, the MRA and the feminists argue about everything. And there's a video on YouTube about this where they're arguing, and this red-haired feministy cunt starts yelling about how the idea that men should lose all paternity lawsuits or maternity lawsuits, I have no idea what the actual word for it is, but fuck it. Again, fuck it. That the idea that women should win everything is an idea of the patriarchy, and if the MRA were actually fighting against that, then they should support the feminists in doing it. Okay, so feminists don't, according to this, feminists don't think that women should automatically win every lawsuit about kids. Custody. Custody is probably the best word. Custody lawsuits. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, brain. Because the idea that women should win every custody lawsuit is an idea of the patriarchy, so the feminists don't want it. Yet, shortly after that, I hear the exact opposite from a feminist, where she goes that, well, of course women should win every custody lawsuit, men shouldn't take care of the kids. That's insane. Men can't do that. It goes a bit back to the article, but she's making the same point. Men can't take care of kids. Of course women should win maternity lawsuits. This is the feminist way. So, just like I've stated, feminists needs to focus. They can't go in every direction, because then nobody takes them serious. That is exactly what's happening. They are bitching about how, oh, nobody takes feminism seriously. No, because it's really hard to understand what the fuck you want. I mean, take socialism, for example. Socialism wants one thing. I'm not a socialist. But socialists want one thing. They want what they think is a more equal world. Communism wants an extremely equal world. Liberals want more freedom. Freedom from, like, the government. They don't want the government to do too much for them. And every ideology has a focus. They want one thing. But feminism, who should barely be called an ideology because of this, goes in every fucking direction at once. They're claiming that all men shouldn't win custody lawsuits, and then they're going, oh, no, the fact that women should win is an idea of the patriarchy, and that should be abolished. Dad needs to take more paternity leaves. No, dad should not take paternity leaves because it's hurtful for the kids. They can never fucking decide. So, to sum up my point here, feminists, focus your attention. And not just focus it on important issues, which I also have a point I want to make, instead of focusing on bullshit like what gender the toys are marketed to. Focus it on important issues, and also focus it. Don't go... Every feminist needs to think the same. If you want to be taken seriously as an ideology, focus it. Think the same way, or you're not an ideology. You're just a bunch of people spouting bullshit. I am the Nerdy Guy. If you like this video, subscribe, leave a comment, rate this video, thumb up or thumb down. Just rate it. And, well, I'm the Nerdy Guy, and you just watched a Nerdy Guy rant. Bye!